Welcome to the Straits Times roundtable on flexible work arrangements, presented by the Tripartite Alliance for Fair and Progressive Employment Practices, or Tafep for short. Flexible work arrangements have been around for a long time, but they burst into prominence due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and they're certainly a hot topic today.
Work from home, which is something that we all have been talking about, is not the only type of FWA there is. FWAs come in three broad categories. First would be flexi-place, which would include the work from home, telecommuting type of arrangements. Second would be flexi-time, flexible work shifts, staggered work hours. So for example, an employee who decides to start work later also makes up for it by ending work later. The third one would be flexi-load, where an employee might take on a different workload with commensurate pay, and one common form would be actually part-time work arrangements. The guidelines set the norms and expectations for how employees should request for and use FWAs responsibly. It also sets out the norms and expectations of how employers should properly assess requests and also respond to them. There are three things that I thought we should highlight. First is that the guidelines do not mandate that every employer must offer FWAs. It also does not mandate that employers must approve every FWA request that comes their way. And thirdly, actually this tripartite guidelines is about formal requests, which means that the non-formal practices of requesting for, responding to requests, if they continue to work well for employers and employees, actually those can continue.
I think the starting point is really, do you have a policy on FWA? And if you don't, then the tripartite guidelines can become that baseline to adopt and to implement. The other starting point, if you have not already done so, is to start to engage the employees. Let them know what are some possible opportunities for FWA, because not all types of flexibility may apply in an organization. So you have to be very clear what will work for you as an organization to support your business needs, and then communicate it to the employees.
The challenge that small and micro businesses face first and foremost is really understanding what this is all about. In a lot of our engagement sessions with them, many of them were really concerned that this would be forced upon them, or they have to mandate to give flexible work. And the reality is that, many realized that they could actually use flexible work arrangement as a proactive way to have conversations. And when you are able to do that, you will realize that your company can actually be a lot more productive because you are managing people in a different way. And at the same time, you are also having that kind of conversation proactively.
I've heard of cases where companies who wanted to implement FWA and they have policies, but staff are actually reticent to come forward to take it because they are concerned how others may perceive them, right? So I think a little bit of empathy and going out of your way to say that it's okay. And HR actually plays a very important role in this because they are really the intersection between the employers and the employees. One of them is explaining to the workers how performance appraisal can be done. Because often, when the staff is not in the office, there is always a concern from the staff that how will I be appraised? Will I be recognized for the work that I'm doing? And I think this is where HR can come in and say, you don't have to worry because we have very clear ways of assessing performance, clear guidelines on that, and this is how it fits within the flexible work arrangements that we have given you.
So Royal Plaza on Scotts, we are a hotel, so definitely it is a very strain on manpower. So what we started in 2008 is a flexible work arrangement of 22 hours per week. So they can choose to work 5 half days, they can choose to work 3 full days, or they can choose to work 2 weeks on or 2 weeks off. And then right now, we also have staggered hours. If you choose to come in earlier, then you actually leave work earlier to beat the traffic, right? And we have also 1 day work from home right now. So that's what we're offering in the hotel. So right now, more and more flexible work arrangements are coming in to our office. So that's why we actually look at it one-on-one basis. So it's a one-to-one basis. There's no one size fits all. And that's why we have a lot of conversations together with the leaders as well as the employees themselves.
see this as an opportunity and give it a shot. Try it, pilot it, and you may be surprised on the upside that actually it may lead to a better working place for your staff, but potentially reaping unexpected benefits in the form of maybe new customers, new opportunities, and new ways to actually go to market and do business. Because if you think very hard about flexible work arrangement, right, and you couple this with job redesign, you may be surprised what are some of the possibilities you can have. So give it a try and experiment.
The economy is changing, the workforce also is changing, and we are seeing that, from the West, they are changing also the way some of the businesses are running. So I think we have to always be agile and keep up to date about where manpower trends are moving towards and choose one that really applies. And I think that's really, really important.
The top tip we have is really to engage and to really communicate. And it's not just with the employees. I think the understanding from the leaders and the understanding from all the employees working together is very, very important, because this will not work without the support from the leaders and the peers working together to say that, okay, this is what works for us.
Trust and communication is something that both on the employer side needs to be built up within the organization in terms of culture, but at the same time for employees, that they have a part to play to make sure that FWAs are sustainable for their own organizations. But because in the end, it will be win-win if they also use the FWAs responsibly. So I think both sides need to play a part, and if there's any need for assistance and support, of course, come to Tafep.